Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into an UpGoWise masterclass on a true heavyweight, Michael E. Porter's foundational work, Competitive Strategy. Now look, this isn't about just feeding your ambition or cheering you on. It's about stripping strategy of all the ego, all the theater, and seeing what's actually running the game.
Choose one battlefield, or be chosen by all of them. If you're listening to this, you're probably highly capable. You're intensely prepared, and you're totally used to winning through sheer effort. But let's be completely honest for a second. Aren't you tired of finding out too late that your hardest path wasn't actually a strong one?
Let's get right into Act 1, the cost of choosing late. We're diagnosing a very specific pain today, and that's the pain of the wrong choice. Highly intelligent people often mistakenly treat strategy as just an extension of their own hard work. You might call your approach a deeply disciplined analysis, right? You build a spreadsheets, you keep all your options open, you wait for that absolutely perfect moment to strike. But if we're really being honest with ourselves here, the mechanism driving all of that is fear. It's just fear, hiding perfectly inside a delayed choice.
The core concept here is ground before courage. Picture a commander marking one narrow pass on a cold, dark campaign map. Strategy isn't about charging out into the open field with blind bravery just to prove how tough you are. It's about claiming that one narrow pass and literally letting the rest of the map go dark. Structure has to come before your identity. Ground must come before action.
Moving on to Act 2, confusing effort with strategy.
You see, a wrong choice rarely actually feels wrong at the start. It feels clean. It feels brave and earned. Why? Because our minds love to study exactly what they want to justify. So I really want you to look closely at this question. What if your smartest move is actually making you weak? Not because you lack talent, no way, but because you're treating structural pressure as a personal flaw. Listen, sheer effort is not evidence of a strong position.
I want you to shift your focus inward for just a second. Think of a specific moment when you made a major decision entirely out of pressure. Did you actually study the field, or did you just study yourself until you found permission? Really think about that moment right now, before you move on.
Now, look at the fundamental difference here. Motion says to the world, I am serious. It's loud, it's chaotic, it covers maximum distance just to prove that you're working hard. But architecture? Architecture says, I am placed. It demands that your strategic placement completely outranks your raw intensity.
That brings us to Act 3, a map of hidden forces.
We're descending below the surface now. We're using Michael E. Porter's 5 Forces framework, but not as dry academic boxes. Think of them as live, breathing pressures currently operating inside your room. Look at this ruthless breakdown. Rivalry is just one single blade. Buyers drain your margin. Suppliers permanently trap your inputs. Substitutes literally shame you by making your offer totally irrelevant. And new entrants? They compress your market overnight. These hidden forces will severely punish a weak choice, and they'll do it without ever attacking you directly. The absolutely crucial point is captured beautifully right here in the book. It says, competitive strategy is a combination of the ends for which the firm is striving and the means by which it is seeking to get there. What this means is your deep desire and your structural method, they have to be inextricably joined. Because one without the other, well, that's just a wish. So let me ask you this. What refusal would make you real? Often, your biggest rival isn't even another company. It's your own envy. It's that desperate need to be seen as versatile, to keep every single door open. What structural refusal, what clear, definitive no would make your current ambition actually believable?
Let's dive into Act 4, refusal is not loss.
A strategy that refuses nothing isn't generous. It's entirely exposed. If you try to keep every door open until certainty finally arrives, you aren't playing it safe at all. You're just creating scattered obligation. The old model, what we call anxious order, tells you to choose and then justify. You pick what you want and defend it with sheer effort. But the refined order demands a much colder discipline. It says map, then choose. You absolutely must map the forces before you ever make the commitment.
Here's the required sequence, step by step. 1. Define the industry. 2. Name the forces. 3. Study your rivals. And 4. Choose your position. Only then do you act. If you act before anticipating your competitor's response, your very first move becomes a trap. Remember, strategy is social. The market updates the very second you step onto the field.
As Porter famously notes, the essence of strategy is choosing what not to do. To build the architecture of your strategy, you need to write one non-negotiable refusal for every single major ambition you hold. This isn't about shrinking yourself down. It's about giving your mind a definitive shape that it can actually defend.
And finally, Act 5, choice is cost named. Okay, it's time to completely dismantle the fantasy that massive action alone will somehow save a structurally weak position. As noted right in competitive strategy, operational effectiveness is not strategy. Let that sink in for a moment. Simply doing more, working faster, pushing harder, that does not mean you are choosing better.
I want you to pick one live decision today. You know the one that keeps returning at night. Don't try to solve it just yet. Just name the room it lives in. Name exactly who holds the power there. Name what can replace you. Rehearse the pressure before you make the promise. Make yourself completely legible to the pressure so you can actually choose your path.
Make sure to access your personal growth map at upgowise.com. Take this explainer's framework of Michael E. Porter's competitive strategy right into your next major decision. Don't ask if you can handle it, ask what forces will handle you. Find your narrow pass, claim your ground, and let the rest of the map go entirely dark.
Remember, choice is cost, with a name.